Now let's talk about the latest in Iran with former U.S. Special Representative for Iran, Mr. Brian Hook. Brian, I'm not going to ask you to comment on M2 or the money supply or anything like that. Even though you're an educated man, you may have some opinions, but let's move on. One of the things that I find so electric here and terrific is that Israel continues to take out senior Iranian regime figures one by one, Brian Hook, one by one. The head of security, the head of the militia, now the head of intelligence. I mean, this is a remarkable thing. And is it, where do you see this leading? And does this, does this really cripple the Iranian operation?
I think Israel is doing to Iran what Israel did to Hamas and to Hezbollah. The Assad, President Assad from Syria is now in Moscow. And so many of the Iranian proxies have fled Iraq and Syria. And I think that same wartime strategy that they applied to those terrorist organizations, they're now applying it to the Iranian regime. And Larry, they have had incredible success at it. They are decapitating the Iranian leadership. They did that to a degree during the 12-day war. And now in this conflict, they're going to have an even longer runway to, I think, address the people who are behind the government that is the world's strongest supporter of terrorism. And we could have a post-conflict sort of scenario where the Iranian regime is largely at peace with its neighbors, not by choice, but because they have no other option, because they have been demilitarized.
So yesterday, on this point, demilitarization and chopping off the heads of the leadership, General Keane and I were talking briefly about there's two armies in Iran. One is the revolutionary, the Islamic Guards. They're the thugs, they're the awful ones. But then there's a regular army, as you know. It's an Islamic army, and it is much less ideological. And it is possible, I mean, Mr. Trump thus far, United States and Israel have spared them. They have gone after the Revolutionary Guards. They have left the regular army alone. Might there be some leadership from the regular army that's, not crazy, some common sense that we could work with and work on, to finally end the regime as we know it?
I think President Trump is trying to avoid two things in a post-conflict scenario: chaos and occupation. And one of the lessons that we learned from Iraq is that if you destroy everything, it's total chaos that follows. And we don't want Iran to look like Sudan or Syria or Libya or Iraq. And so I think the plan right now is to ensure that a lot of the institutions that could be important in a post-conflict scenario are stable. And if you have the Iranian people get a representative government, a more moderate, pragmatic, secular government, you would have in place those civilian institutions, which include the military that you just described, who could help be a stabilizing force. Because chaos, we're certainly not going to do occupation, and chaos would also be something very bad for not only the United States, but for a lot of our partners and allies in the region. And so I like the way that the president has hit the right targets with the military that you described, Larry, the IRGC, which is highly ideological. But it's also been important to notice the targets that he has not hit.
Yes, well, I just, I noticed it. There were some reports about it. I asked General Keane about it, and his point of view is very much your point of view on this. There might be some people that aren't completely crazy that we can do business with. By the same token, the president thus far has left the oil export pipes in Kharg Island alone while destroying the military facilities. Now, if he goes after those export pipes, that'll just destroy the Iranian economy probably forevermore. But I think it's very crafty. And I think, I think there's deal talk out there, Brian. I don't know enough. You know a lot more than I know. But I think our goals are being met. The mission is being met. And maybe there's some promising things. Last word, Brian Hook.
I think our military deserves an A+ for how they've been doing. I think President Trump has the right strategy. He is not managing the nuclear problem. He is going to fix this once and for all. As he said, he doesn't want to go back and do this again. And our biggest problem is that we haven't had a counterparty. President Trump has not had a responsible counterparty. But we could get to that point, given the trajectory that things are going in this conflict.
Terrific stuff. Brian Hooks, former U.S. Special Representative for Iran. Thank you, Brian. We appreciate it very much.